A few days ago, I penned an irritated tweet in response to one of the latest happenings on the increasingly heated culture war front.
He penned a tweet, by the way. Okay, motherfucker, what are you, Shakespeare? Once again, I just gotta remind you that, like, this shit is completely ridiculous. Like, there are so many states that have passed some of the most cruel and unusual psychotic anti-trans provisions, okay? Straight up unacceptable. Like, there are states like Utah where the state legislature passed such a transphobic bill that the Republican governor was like, dude, what are you doing? Even the Republican even the Republican governor was like, I'm not signing this, bro. This is cruel and unusual. And even then, he's just simply crying because he can't further bully trans people on a fucking private platform, man. Come on, dude. They're silencing me. And it's like, no, they're not. They just gave you a suspension, dumbass. All you need to do is delete the tweet. And he's like, I'm not deleting it. Okay, good. Didn't Jordan say he was leaving Twitter like a month ago? Dude flip-flops so hard. I think he just, this is right. I think he just like could not leave Twitter because he's so deeply addicted to it. So this is the only way that he can get off of it. And it's a double whammy. Now he can complain about cancel culture and being canceled on Twitter and free speech or whatever, which is hilarious because this is a perfect example of conservative persecution complex, dude. Conservatives love seeking victimhood so fucking hard.
Since Twitter did not do me the favor of actually specifying my crime, and there are many possibilities on that front, we unfortunately have to guess at why this has occurred. And that's actually a big problem in and of itself, and also indicative of the utter carelessness of the Twitter organization with regard to the propriety of its own censorial actions.
Dude, this can't be real. I feel like he made this for me. I'm losing my mind. What is he doing? What? Dude, there's nothing funnier than a dude who is so clearly fallen from grace. There's nothing funnier than a grown-ass, like, 60-year-old man put on a fucking 3-piece pinstripe suit specifically to sit in front of 2 fucking cameras and cry about being suspended on Twitter for very clearly writing fucking transphobic shit about one trans person too, which is like directional transphobic hatred. You just got suspended off of Twitter, a platform that you supposedly were supposed to fucking leave anyway, but you couldn't because you directionally are writing transphobic shit about a famous trans actor. These guys are trying to bring back Gamergate shit so hard, dude.
I should at least know exactly what I did wrong if I am required to acknowledge that my tweet violated the Twitter rules. What rules, you sons of bitches? Exactly. Precisely. Because such things matter when the accusations start flying.
Dude, come on. If you take a person like this seriously ever again for the rest of your life, I'm sorry. I will make fun of you. He said, what rule was breaking, you sons of bitches? About being suspended off Twitter, bro. What the fuck? It's not that serious, homie.
So what did I say that might constitute harassment? Well, many things, hypothetically. Let's begin with, remember when pride was a sin? Although that is merely a factual statement, because under the old rules applicable even a decade ago, pride was a sin and had been recognized as perhaps the cardinal sin for thousands of years previously. It still might be regarded as unacceptable to the woke authoritarian moralists who now insist, for example, that we celebrate Pride Month, not hour or day or week, but month.
Wait, not Pride Day, hour, or week, but month? I could not write something this funny if I sat down and wanted to, like, write something about, like, unnecessary hysteria from a conservative, like, old-ass conservative man. Why no Pride Hour? But now Pride Month? What's next? Pride Year? Yeah, by the way, pride is a sin, by the way. Love when someone says pride is a sin and then sells statues of his own fucking head, dog.
Instead of LGBT plus month or whatever else alphabet acronym which is currently insisted upon as the only acceptable enlightened terminology. I don't regard pride as a virtue. It has been classically regarded as a
Yeah, we already know that you do. You don't care. You sell bus to yourself. You're obviously a very proud person. You're like, you 100%. You 100% are not like the virtuous person that you claim to be. But we know that already.
and also consider it my duty to warn those who are about to fall into a pit that the path they are on leads suddenly downhill. But that was probably not the reason that I was banned from Twitter, although, as I said, I am in the position of having to guess. Next phrase to interrogate. And Ellen Page. Now, why did I stop there? Because in all likelihood, it was this seemingly innocuous phrase, including the name of a well-known actress, there I'm in trouble again, that likely resulted in my ban. I committed the fatal crime.
Bro, this is so funny. I guess I'll get in trouble again. It's just like, it is the wackest way. Like, no, bro, no one is like fucking freaking out over this, okay? No one is freaking out over this because you're fucking washed. You are the one who's freaking out over this way more than anyone else, okay?
Of what has come to be known in the appalling sensorial terminology of the insane activists as deadnaming. So I should have either called him, her, they, Elliot, instead of Ellen.
Bro, like, why do these motherfuckers act like it's so difficult, dude? Like, at first, there's a learning curve, right? But you've gone beyond the learning curve. Like, I've talked about this before. Sometimes when someone is like a figure of national prominence, like Caitlyn Jenner, for example, okay, it takes some time for people to adjust, right? And I think, at least for me, in my personal experiences, most trans people are very forgiving and very understanding that, like, of the unintentional or accidental misgendering, despite the fact that it might be incredibly traumatic for them. Okay? It's when you're intentionally misgendering someone and deliberately doing it and deliberately deadnaming them, like in a tweet, for example, that then it becomes something entirely different. You're just personally trying to harass them. And these motherfuckers are so sad and so pathetic that they do it on purpose and then they go, oopsie, did I do that? It's like, bro, you know what you did. You know what you're doing. And you don't care. You don't care about, like, the feelings of another person. You're just like an asshole. You're a fucking asshole.
The next phrase is, just had her breasts removed. This bit suffers from a very similar problem. I employed the forbidden pronoun her when Elliot, Ellen, is now to be regarded as a he or else. But there's a conundrum here, to say the least, and not just for me, although I have been banned because of it. Was Elliot/Ellen a she or a he, or Ellen or Elliot, when she or he or they, that's Elliot or Elian, by the way, had his or her or their breasts removed?
It is not that fucking difficult, homie. You are literally personally making it more difficult than it actually fucking is. You are such a fucking loser.
Moved. If he or she was a he, then why was it necessary to have the mastectomy? And how could those I am writing to make sense of what I was saying if it was...
I don't know, man. You could perhaps Google it, bro. Like, I don't get it. What the fuck? Aren't you like a brilliant guy? Aren't you like a brilliant fucking doctor? I don't understand. Dr. Jordan Peterson? Like, you couldn't ask someone at the college campus? Jordan Peterson be like, sorry, but if you're a man who has gynecomastia, you must not get a medical procedure. I will not allow it. Like, what's up, dude? What do you mean? There are fucking cis men that also have similar procedures. What's going on?
To the degree that surgery generally reserved for cancer...
Like, his favorite homie on the planet is literally the poster boy for gender-affirming surgery, okay? Gender-affirming hormone therapy. That's what TRT is, motherfucker. If you're Joe Rogan and you shove so many fucking steroid needles in your ass that you look like a goddamn Ninja Turtle with fucking, with a bubble gut from all the HGH and TRT you've done, which you openly fucking claim and ride for, by the way, which I have no problem with, that's gender-affirming hormone therapy. You have no problem with Joe Rogan doing that shit, but God forbid a trans person decides to do something similar. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, I hate that! do not do hormone therapy unless you're Joe Rogan and I can go on your podcast. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
He was definitely Ellen at some point in the past, or so indicate all his, her, them, their.
Dude, this is so funny. It's like, exactly what moment did the transition happen? It's like, motherfucker, you don't need to know that. Like, when someone tells you their name is Jane, you don't go, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe your name is Barbara. When did you choose Jane? You must let me know now.
Film credits. Will all those have to be reshot since they employed the hated dead name? That doesn't exist, by the way, that dead.
By the way, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. That question is an interesting one. Like, that question, if it wasn't being used against a trans person, right, to like further transphobia and to like try to fucking, get people on board with like being unnecessarily transphobic to a trans person, then that's actually an interesting concept. You could have a conversation about that. What happens to the old, what happens to the old footage of a trans person? We have a friend of the show, Philosophy Tube, for example, who is trans, and she has a bunch of footage from YouTube of her old content. Right? That's a complicated concept that you could normally pre-transition. That's what you would say. Exactly. That's a complicated concept. I'm not even saying that it's not a complicated concept. I am openly admitting that that's a complicated concept, which you could personally have a conversation around. And trans people have this conversation all the time. Okay? But if your goal was to genuinely educate people and to find the best practices, this is not the way to go about it. And what is really, really indecent in this situation is that people like Jordan Peterson, transphobic people, stand in the way of people having that conversation in a genuine capacity, specifically so they can continue making more transphobic fucking takes.
When precisely was it incumbent on me to switch my terminology in regard to Elliot/Ellen so that I was not engaging in hateful conduct?
Like, this shit is so meaningless, ultimately. It is like the least significant thing you could do to not be a fucking asshole. And even that is expecting far too much from a dude who's like, no, my entire politics is around being a fucking asshole. It's simply asking Jordan Peterson, okay, to be nice. Bro, here's what you could have done. Instead of making a 15-minute video with two different camera angles crying about being suspended on Twitter for straight up being transphobic about Elliot Page, you could have just not done any of this and just deleted the tweet and you'd be fine.
And I'm not taking down that tweet or acknowledging that my tweet violated the Twitter rules. Up yours,
so brave
moralists.
Up yours, dude. He's such a pussy. I love that, dude. Dude, people like this, because conservative ideology hinges on like aesthetics so aggressively, kind of like liberalism too, that like when they come across like giant fucking pussies, I think they're doing themselves a disservice. Okay? So I love shit like this. Up yours. I will not be taking that tweet down. It's like, bro, you are literally a fucking child, homie.
See who cancels who. Twitter's a rat hole in the final analysis, and I have probably contributed to that while trying to use, understand, and master that horrible, toxic platform. No doubt I owe some apologies for that, and I'm trying to learn, but it's a relief in some real sense to be banned. And I regard it under the present conditions as a badge of honor.
Oh, that's great. Dude, this is awesome. 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 I love that. I love that. I love that.